Happy Monday. We are talking offensive line today. Let's do it. What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us on another Monday night live stream here on the channel. Hope everybody had a great holiday weekend, got to enjoy some time with family and friends, maybe tip back a couple of beers. Hopefully you all had a great time with that. I know we did, but we are back here talking more football. We are less than a month away. I believe, what is it? Is it 3 weeks from today?
What's the exact day?
Because I think it's like, I want to say it's the 20, or like, is it like the 20th that the rookies report? And then like the 26th, I think, is like the first practice open to the public.
Saturday, July 26th is the actual back together weekend.
Yep.
They call it.
So that's like the first open
so
session.
We got a minute. We got like 19 days until then. So we got some time. But hey, it is right around the corner. I mean, it takes like a week out, and then it's like, okay, now we're back into gear. And then for me, I got I'm moving to Colorado and making just bunch of big life stuff as far as that goes. So trying to figure out all that kind of stuff. Once I get in Colorado, it'll be nice to kind of settle down and
like officially, like settle
officially down. For good, or well, for at least more long term than I've done in the last 5 years or whatever. Maybe, who knows, if maybe forever, I don't really know. But I'm excited to kind of settle down a little bit, grow some roots a little bit there, and then we can get a background that's a little bit more like yours, instead of get rid of this old thing that I've had pretty much since we've ever started this channel. So I'm excited about that and being able to just do our thing on here more and more. But let's do some shout outs here. We got our guy George Blunt in the building right away. Skol, my dude, welcome in. Bleeding Purple, I see you. Got my cards last week, of course, dude. Let's go. LA, what up, Bob? Boston to Colorado, next LA. No, I ain't going to LA right now. I'm in like the Asheville, North Carolina area, but we were in San Diego before. We did San Diego before, which that was cool. I would do San Diego again way before LA. It's going to be it's called Castle Pines, Castle Rock. It's like 20 minutes south of Denver. So it'll be like a little outside of Denver, which is preferable to me because I don't really want to be like right in the city. So I don't know. I'm excited. My sister moved out there not too long ago. So it's kind of working out for us to go, and she's about to have a kid and all this kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. Hey, what's going on, Jen? Hey, Jamie and Casey, how was the 4th?
Oh, it was good.
Yeah, it was good. Casey, Casey's like, yeah, it was good. It was really good. No, it was good over here too. I mean, we had some friends drive through from South Carolina up to Ohio, and they came by and hung out for the day. So that was really cool to go see some people. Oh, visit Casa. I know Casa Bonita, when we were out there for a different assignment, Casa Bonita was just opening and I missed it. But no,
if you're not as excited if you're not as excited as Cartman was to be there, you're not.
Yeah, no, I will be. I'm excited. I'm not even South Park. I still watch South Park. South Park comes out this month.
It does.
Yep. So it's actually supposed to come out this week, and then they pushed it like 2 weeks or whatever.
South Park. We got Always Sunny dropping their first episode on Wednesday. Rick and Morty's in full swing. Adult comedies are back, man.
They just drop all the comedies on one month instead. Make us wait an entire year or whatever. But no, I'm excited for all those shows. So that's gonna be cool, especially to have that before this season starts getting rolling for the Vikes, which we'll again talk about here shortly here. But I see you, my guy Barber, in the building. Bleeding, let's go. Dan, my man, Dan Henneman in the building. What's going on, dude? Let's go. Adam, my guy. Yo. What's going on, everybody? Like we said, we are getting close to the football season. Still a little ways. It's still kind of that little lull area of the season and all that stuff. But of course, I do want to bring up again another show, another rookie card giveaway. You know what? We're going to pick one specific card for today's show. Why not? We're going to go with the Dallas Turner on the patch, on the green Pulsar patch. This is kind of a cool card. So that's what we're going to do today. So get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you have not already. As Casey said in the beginning of the show, we are going to go through the offensive line. And since we're getting closer, we're going to do we decided to do a couple positions at a time here. We're going to focus mainly on the offensive line, but we didn't want to skip out on the tight end position prior to diving into the defense that we're hoping to kind of go through prior to training camp. So O-line, tight end, got to talk about some more Skol Fest here. And then, of course, a giveaway like I mentioned before. Casey, you got anything before we continue moving on here?
I got nothing. Let's roll.
All right, let's do it. And welcome in, everybody. Let's see, did I miss anybody before moving forward? I think we got everybody so far. All right. Yeah, let's keep on going. So the offensive line, obviously, as many know, and a lot of people are super excited, half the fan base felt like that was our number one priority. Some of the fan base, like us, we felt like defensive line, whatever. We decided to go fix both of those, but we put emphasis on the offensive line by drafting Donovan Jackson in the first round to pretty much solidify as far as talent-wise, or as far as just, I guess, theoretically at this point, the best offensive line, the most sound offensive line that we've seen in years, if not potentially has the potential to be the best offensive line we've seen in our lifetime. Maybe not this year, but as Donovan Jackson gets older and things like that. Right. So we're feeling good. And even the people out there who've been calling for it for 20 years to focus on the offensive line, specifically interior offensive line, have to be happy with what we have going on here. What's your thoughts, Casey?
This is, obviously after the playoff game, immediately after the playoff game, Kevin O'Connell said, and then obviously as we got into the offseason, Kwesi mentioned it as well, that basically we saw what happened against us, where our interior of the offensive line was our weak point. The Lions and the Rams both exploited that, and we saw what happened with Sam Darnold the last two games. His worst two games, you could say, of his 1 year Vikings tenure. And Kevin O'Connell said, we have to make sure our offensive line needs to get shored up. It has to be better. We need to make adjustments for both the passing game and the running game. And they did it. Like the big thing with this offseason is you can say Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi did what they said they were going to do and address the two weakest spots. And when you really look at the way these two things were built, right? Because we were hoping maybe go defensive interior in this draft just because the draft was so deep at that.
Right.
I do think they went into it thinking, hey, there's a good chance that the 2 or 3 guys that we want might be gone before that point. So if Donovan Jackson's there, we're going to take him. Because with the defensive interior, they basically patchworked it, right? Like get these two guys who are proven when healthy pass rushers. We can get them at a pretty good rate because they're coming off injuries and they're past 30. But we put these two guys in there, and this defense will be fine with them there for the next couple of years. With this offensive line, I guess outside of Ryan Kelly, but again, you're getting a veteran center to go along with your young rookie quarterback and a veteran center that's done it for 9 years in one place. This offensive line is built to be with JJ McCarthy for the duration of his rookie contract plus, right? Christian Darrisaw just got his extension last offseason. Donovan Jackson, first round pick. As I said, Kelly, that veteran center in the middle of your offensive line. And that's when you have a young quarterback, that's the man you want snapping the ball to your quarterback, is someone who has that veteran presence, who's been there, done that, and done it at a high level his entire career. Then you got the top free agent just coming off his rookie contract in Will Fries. Then you got Brian O'Neill, who just hit, I believe, 30 or 31. I know he has 2 unguaranteed years left on his deal where he's getting $21 million each year. Probably before training camp, you'd like to see something get done with that deal, maybe extend him for the next 3-4 years. But with this offensive line where they patchwork the defensive line, this offensive line is 100%. Like, we are building this to mold our young quarterback and be with him throughout at least the duration of his rookie contract and hopefully more. And you could tell with that's kind of how they went with all these signings, right? Where all these guys are at least through contract through that year. Will Fries obviously had a 5-year deal. So this offensive line was I feel like it was intentionally built. And as we talked about this entire offseason, we said we want to go into week 1, and our only thought is, how will JJ McCarthy play? You don't want any other doubts. And yes, you have Darrisaw coming off the knee injury. You get that. You have a rookie that you hope starts at left guard. You understand that. And then Will Fries coming back from his injury as well. So you need it all to gel together. But with this offensive line, I feel confident that this starting five that we have on here. Yes, there'll be some competition because there has to be. You don't want to just hand a rookie a starting spot, but I feel confident that this would be a great offensive line for your young quarterback to sit behind. I think he's going to have time. It's a lot bigger and meaner than that offensive line last year, so you got to applaud the way that that the front office went about building this up for your young quarterback. So it's an offensive line built for the future as well as right now.
Yeah, 100%. I would say, and you kind of hit on this earlier, like other than maybe Ryan Kelly, he's older, 2-year contract. I mean, hopefully he has a really good this year, and then next year, you still have him in there, give him at least 2 years there. But as far as like that compared to the defensive line with Jonathan Allen, right? Jonathan Allen. I don't know why does that sound weird for a second. And Javon Hargrave. Those are kind of like Band-Aid type players. And obviously we'll probably, the next time we're on here, we'll probably talk about the defensive line, but guys that are going to come in and you just know that they have high floors right now at this point in their career. They have high floors. They're not coming in here and they're going to at least give you can feel confident you're getting something, especially Ryan Kelly, when you have all this talent around you and you're talking about a Pro Bowler there. But that's why, I mean, you got to love it. And then when we signed Ryan Kelly, it was the very first signing that we made, I believe, right? Was he before or after?
It was after.
Yeah. The first offensive line guy is the same day. Is later that night, whatever, the first day of free agency. But it was a huge surprise by most of us. Like when going into it, we were talking about like Garrett Bradbury is going to be back here and we're just going to go and hope that we go get one of the top right guards, with Will Fries probably being kind of unlikely as a possibility. And then we go and get Ryan Kelly right away, which was I was super excited about, because I was like, damn, I wasn't expecting us to move on from Garrett Bradbury. So now, instead of going into next season with Garrett Bradbury and hoping that you get at least one guard, and like the ideal, like what most Viking fans were thinking as far as a best case scenario for offensive line, especially people who wanted guys on defense, like we kind of did, was that you'd get one of the right guards in free agency, and then you'd probably go into the season with that new right guard, and then you have Christian Darrisaw, you would have Blake Brandel, Garrett Bradbury, and then whoever that right guard was, not thinking it was going to be the top one that was available in free agency at the time that started, and Brian O'Neill. So obviously huge, the chance of success for these guys feels super high, and it definitely has tons of potential, and hopefully it lives up to it. But it all starts with getting our star left tackle, who arguably, if healthy, could be the best in the league at his position, in my opinion. And that's Christian Darrisaw, which so far, I mean, it's been a pleasant surprise as far as him getting into training camp or mini camp and stuff and getting on the field at all. That was something I don't know if anybody even mentioned the fact that Darrisaw could even potentially get on the field in any capacity anytime soon. So that was a huge surprise for us Viking fans to see that, because then it was like, oh, if he's on the field now, we're not talking about maybe there's a chance he could start week 1. It sounds like that's still probably unlikely, but I think you're feeling a lot better of his chances of getting ready to go within like the first few weeks or so. And obviously it's going to be a big difference not having Christian Darrisaw compared to having them, even though we'll talk about some of these other guys like Justin Skule as well. But yeah, Christian Darrisaw is definitely the big one. And then Donovan Jackson, super stud at a position that usually you do see like super high end starters getting picked at the end of the first round. You don't see a lot of guards getting picked or like in the top 10 picks or anything like that. But like you said, you go into this offseason, a lot of the draft board didn't really fall the way we wanted to. I do think the Vikings, I would not have been surprised if they did try to go get a defensive interior guy. They ended up going with Donovan Jackson, and you just doubled down on your offensive line. You made it so it's like, okay, now we don't even have a chink in our armor whatsoever on this offense. because the one question mark we had was at that left guard position. And now you have Donovan Jackson, who has hopefully sooner than later Christian Darrisaw on one side of him and Ryan Kelly on the other to at least help him through his rookie year here. But it sounds like out of a lot of these guards that were in the draft, that Donovan Jackson might have been the most likely to just be pro ready and just kind of a plug and play type of guy, which is exactly what we needed. Even if you weren't a person that wanted offensive lineman in the first round, it was the only position that we had that you could go draft and have them be an immediate starter right out the gate. And that's why it helps us right away this year.
Yeah.
And then Will Fries, bully. I know there's highlights going around. People are pushing highlights of him just bullying people. Obviously coming off an injury. Sounds like he should be ready to go by training camp. I'm super excited for him. And then Brian O'Neill, he's been as consistent for us as any offensive lineman we've had in the last 10 years, probably. So super excited just for that starting lineup there.
Yeah.
It's just weird talking about offensive line the way like this. Like you can't even be how do you passionately talk about the offensive line? I guess this is how you do it.
I mean, well, like when you look at it, like before, like you just looked at that interior, it just looked weak, right? Like Bradbury.
Hey, what a rap.
Bradbury,
even the building, my guy.
Bradbury, not the biggest, didn't really have much anchor. And just, obviously he was good in in the run game, but that was kind of his strength even coming out of college. So you look at him, smaller frame. Ed Ingram, when you just look at him talk, he just doesn't look like a guy that's very feisty. And then you had Brandel, Brandel played solid for spurts. Struggled kind of later in the season. I think you mentioned before after Darrisaw went out. But still, you just look at Donovan Jackson, like national championship winning tackle/guard, Ryan Kelly and Will Fries. When we saw what they did in Indy, just two big dudes who can get after in both the pass and the run game. I mean, Will Fries, before he got hurt, was playing like one of the best right guards in football last year.
Right.
So it's just this offensive line, just from a looks perspective, just looks bigger, tougher, and meaner than it did last year. And that's exactly what we were missing, especially those last two games, but all season long when it came to running the ball in short yardage and goal line situations. So what they did with this offensive line is amazing. And I even like the depth signings, right? Like, look, I love keeping Blake Brandel around. He can play left guard and left tackle if you need him to. But to me, when it comes to this offseason and the signings, Justin Skol is going to be one to me that's really underrated. You're looking at a guy, 66 total games in his career, 17 starts, started 5 for Tampa last year in place of Tristan Wirfs when he was dealing with some injuries. And I think we looked at his PFF stuff on Bleacher Report a couple weeks ago. Yeah, and I know we talked about it during the signing as well. Just a solid left tackle, played some solid starter snaps, played well in those situations when he had to step in and be a starter. So that, to me, if Christian Darrisaw isn't going to be back by week 1, which it sounds like there's a good chance that he's not, but if he does miss some times, you have a quality left tackle who has gotten some starting snaps in his career and done well in those situations. In so to me, that's a really underrated signing. And I think that was a really smart move by Kwesi to go get this guy for a pretty darn cheap contract, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was like wasn't it like 1.8 mil or 2 mil or something like that? And he had a 69.2 overall grade in 361 snaps, 66.4 pass blocking grade, and 68.9 run blocking grade, which those grades for an offensive lineman are very, very, very solid. Above average for sure.
And this 1 year, $2 million, $750,000 guaranteed.
Yeah, so 2 mil, 1 year deal, and a guy maybe we see it earlier than later, but you got to feel, like you said, feel great about him as that depth piece, as well as Blake Brandel there's guys that's like there is some people out there. It's like, oh, you hate a player so much on your starting lineup, but then you forget how good of that person would be as a backup or someone that can come in and play for you. Yep. And Blake Brandel's that guy. Like, he's going to get a lot of hate by people, but as a backup, as someone that if someone goes down, then you're happy you have a guy like Blake Brandel.
Right. And not only have we not had great, like, starting caliber offensive linemen, our depth has been pretty weak as well. So the fact that you have these two guys sitting back there, and then not even just that, you look even farther down the depth chart, you have a guy like Walter Rouse, who they drafted out of Oklahoma last year. They like him a lot. There was talks of them experimenting with him at left guard. So there you go. You have another guy who can play both. Right, I think he played some right tackle in college as well. So he can play both tackle spots and left guard if you need him to. And then you do have Michael Juergens, another guy when you watch like their draft coverage videos from last year. They were huge fans of him. They wanted to make sure they got him. I think they see a spot for him in the future, maybe taking over for Ryan Kelly once once that contract is up. So like what you're looking at here is a team with some depth at a position that we haven't even had quality starters at, let alone depth. And you have quality starters and depth all on paper, of course, and young guys that you think you could mold into potential starters and or backups, long-term backups in the future. So the way that they built this offensive line, and it's taken them a couple years, but they I think they figured it out at guard and just at tackle with depth too. So what they did, they were intentional about it. They told us they were going to do it, and they went out and did it. So this offensive line, when you just look at it on paper, and we haven't even gotten to some of the other names on here yet. When you just look at on paper, this offensive line, you got to be excited. As a Vikings fan who have been hoping for better offensive line play for years, you have to be excited about what we're seeing here.
Yeah. And you talked about some of these other names here, and you brought up Walter Rouse, a guy that the Vikings are really excited about, as well as Jurgens, who can also play center, is figuring out like who's going to be our center of the future. And those are two players. Like I know there's some people out there who are talking about Walter Rice being in the mix for that left guard before we got Donovan Jackson. And so he's another guy, like one of those guys you're hoping that makes a step forward, and becomes someone that at least either a depth piece or who knows. I mean, at this point, we need something at center. I think we're pretty locked down at most positions here. But one position, and we've talked about him earlier, and even though he's one of our most consistent guy, and that's Brian O'Neill, who obviously is going to need a new contract coming up here soon. I don't know. Does he have 1 year left?
I think it's 2 non-guaranteed years.
2 non-guaranteed years.
But I think he has pretty hefty cap numbers.
Yeah, I believe so at this point.
Let's see. So for this year, 2025, his cap number is 26 million and then 23 million next year.
Okay.
And he's only 30. So that's why people are thinking you could extend him a couple years, give him a signing bonus, spread some of those cap hits out. I know they've been talking about doing that for a couple years now, kind of restructuring that deal. So we'll see if that
happens.
See if it happens. But yeah, I don't think there's any guarantees left.
And where Dan was going down here, Logan Brown will beat out Walter Rouse, and that's what I was going to say next. Obviously, Logan Brown's a guy that we haven't seen on the field yet. And offensive line is one of those ones where it's like you hear some hype. I mean, Walter Rouse and Michael Jurgens in general, and we didn't really see it translate right away early, I guess, last preseason and training camp. But Logan Brown is arguably the prize of the undrafted free agent class, and Kwesi was able to get him again, the Kansas tackle over there. I know he has tons of hype and a lot of fan favorites already, and someone to keep a really close eye on, because if I'm the Vikings, I'm assuming, I mean, best case scenario, Logan Brown comes in and impresses to the point where you have a little bit more leverage when it comes to Brian O'Neill in the future of that position, which is huge because obviously any of the tackle positions is the most important position on that offensive line. And some people will say, top 3 most important position in the entire NFL. So that would be a big one there. And that's another depth piece. Like that's why you just got to feel great about what you have on as depth over all this years, not just, and I know our guy, forget it. Never mind. I'll come back to that. But
yeah, now you're worried he's going to listen and be like, obviously I'm not your guy if you can't remember my name.
Well, he ain't going to know who I'm talking about. That's why I'm not going to go any further. But no, anyways, yeah. Overall, though, you got to feel great about just the depth and everything you got on this offensive line. And if someone goes down, like Christian Darrisaw's not going to start, but you feel like Skol will be able to do enough. I know, maybe not optimal having him next to a rookie offensive lineman, but yeah. Jurgens, I think we drafted him as a guard, but I know people talked about him playing center. Maybe at one point he was playing. He was listed as a center for. Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Well, he played guard in college, I'm pretty sure.
Did he?
I thought so.
Maybe a little bit of both?
Maybe. I thought he was a guy that, like, you could put him to center, and I think we kind of did. Brown has trained to play. Okay. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, I guess it just says offensive line when you look at his college stats. It is what it is. Doesn't really matter. Either way.
Yeah, any other thoughts on the offensive line?
Right. Other than the fact that I love it and I'm glad we got some depth there, that's all I got.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm excited.
I mean, it's
we're
so
feeling
weird that
good.
we're
This offensive lines.
like offensive line is not a sexy or exciting position, but when you saw what Vikings fans saw, especially those last 2 games and the pressure Darnold was under, and knowing you have a young quarterback coming off injury, that offensive line had to get better. So it's so exciting to see that the front office really invested heavily into that spot by saying, we're going to go get the top free agent guard available. We're going to get a steady, solid veteran in Ryan Kelly. The quarterback snap exchange, obviously without that, the game doesn't go. We've seen some iffiness go on there in the past with Bradbury. So like having a veteran like Ryan Kelly there and honestly, he's going to be able to do some coaching with McCarthy out there as well in the huddle. So that's huge. One of the top guards available in the draft. And then we already know Christian Darrisaw, Brian O'Neill, when healthy, are 2 staples along this offensive line, have been since they both came into the league pretty much. It's just, it's just on paper, you feel super excited about this offensive line. And that's, again, weird to say, but you do. I mean, in front of your young quarterback, it's going to help out in the run game. It just all goes back to the intentionality of this, where they said it after the Rams loss and going into all the free agency draft stuff. They said we have to get better at these positions, and they went and did it. The interior needed to change, and on both sides of the ball, it did.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly, dude. That's why it's so fun to talk about each one of these positions. And the first time I've ever used fun in offensive line, probably ever. But man, it was huge step forward. So everyone should be excited about that and this offense. And other parts of this offense would be just diving into the next position, and that's the tight end position, where you got TJ Hawkinson, Josh Oliver, Gavin Bartholomew, and Giovanni Ricci. So you got 2 guys, and I think maybe there's another tight. I think there's another tight end.
Bryson Nesbitt, drafted.
Yeah, Bryson Nesbitt.
As well out of UNC.
And this is what ESPN has on their depth chart. What's going on, Skol Mafia? I see you, my guy. And again, everybody, giving away the Viking. We're giving away the patch. Dallas Turner green pulsar patch, purple patch. So get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the videos, and subscribe. So just diving into this tight end group, obviously TJ Hawkinson, a guy that you hope stays healthy, and when he is healthy, can definitely be a top 5 tight end in this league. When he came back from injury, he just didn't seem to have that connection early with Sam Darnold. But I think one really underrated thing about him, and I don't know if I've talked about it on here, I've definitely talked about it on Bleacher Report, is that when he was hurt at the same time as JJ McCarthy, and it sounds like they have created a very, very strong bond during that time. And TJ Hawkinson has came out multiple times. We just dropped that JJ McCarthy video a week or so ago, and I had a little part in there where TJ Hawkinson comes up and talks about JJ McCarthy, and that by itself will tell you all you need to know. But TJ Hawkinson since then has came out and even talked more and more praise about JJ McCarthy, and talking about how he just wants to be great in this league and all those kinds of things. He also talked about, he actually compared him to Matthew Stafford as far as the zip he gets on the football, which is hilarious because every other media person in the world wants to act like he doesn't have an arm. But how often have we heard a Vikings player came out and talked about the zip that JJ McCarthy has on the football? And TJ Hawkinson is a huge proponent of that. So that's going to be something I'm really going to be paying attention to and excited about, because obviously a young player like JJ McCarthy, his first year, there's usually nothing as helpful as having a good tight end that is like your safety blanket, and you have a really good one in TJ Hawkinson. And it'll be interesting to see if you do see that chemistry early and you do see that connection a lot, and hopefully to the point where you're seeing one of the better seasons, if not the best season we've seen from TJ Hawkinson since he's been a Viking. And yeah, so that's going to be an exciting one. What's your thoughts on TJ?
I mean, this is a big year for him, especially his future with the Vikings. I mean, look, I think, and you mentioned it, I think the injury and the fact that he wasn't really able to get those reps in with Sam Darnold till he got back from injury. And that's the thing. It's like, right, you're not putting him out there on a sprained ankle, right? Where he can at least kind of go through the motions and catch some passes. He's out there on an ACL where you don't want him doing any sort of actual football activity till you're 100% sure he's ready to go. So there was no opportunity for them to get any sort of work in before he had to come in. I don't think Hawkinson all of a sudden just lost talent, because we saw when the year we traded for him and in 2023 before the injury, he was playing like one of the better tight ends in the NFL, right? So I don't think this is one of those things where he just fell completely off, and I don't think the talent's not there anymore. But with what he showed last year, I mean, going into next year, I mean, after this year, you can cut him after 2025, take on $12.4 million worth of dead cap. And at that point, and I think, what was it the year after? Sorry, I'm looking up his contract here.
And TJ Hawkinson's only 28 years old.
Right, exactly. But so you could cut him though, and instead of owing him $21 million, you could, I mean, this only counts $12 million against your cap. And then you save a huge amount in 2027, where he's $23 million cap. You'd only take on $7 million dead. You could save a lot of money there. So for his future on this team, and if they don't want to start looking at different directions, I think he's going to have a big year, and I think he does. I mean, as you mentioned, the safety blanket thing, like everyone knows, for a young quarterback, the tight end is kind of that safety blanket type player. And like I said, I don't think TJ Hawkinson just lost talent. Like, I think he's still the same guy. There was just the chemistry issue last year. So and he's already getting that chemistry with McCarthy from being in the training room together. So I think this is going to be a big year for Hawkinson. But he does have to think about it that way, to where, hey, if this season doesn't go as well as it should, like, they may move on from me and go in a different direction. So if he wants to remain here, he needs to play just as well as we need him to play well for this team to succeed. So I think it's a big year for Hawkinson. But I am expecting big things. I think he's going to have a big bounce back season. I think he's going to prove that he is still a premier tight end in this league.
Yeah, dude, and I'm hopeful, and I think so too. Just stay healthy, and like I said, JJ McCarthy, probably his favorite receiver, favorite pass catcher for Michigan was Colston Loveland, and you saw that connection a lot. I do think you're going to see a lot of that TJ Hawkinson, JJ McCarthy connection. And then we talk about another guy that we did give an extension, Josh Oliver, one that I would still say I'm a little surprised for. I know most Viking fans were really excited. I would probably say I'm in the minority of being like, I get he's one of the best blocking tight ends in the NFL. How much did we pay him again? $8 million a year about? I'm like, I don't know if I'm convinced you pay a guy who blocks $8 million a year at the tight end position, but obviously maybe they're a lot harder to come by, which obviously, again, you're also talking about a guy that you bring in with this great offensive line, and not just him. We can get into guys like Gavin Bartholomew and all these other guys in a second here. But you are getting that in Josh Oliver, and a guy who has the potential to be really good. Bob Swedes right here. I like Oliver more than Hawk. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I mean, it depends on what you're looking at. If you're looking at a guy who's like just going to help you in your run game more, then probably Josh Oliver. But if you want a tight end that's going to have an effect in the passing game, and look, I think that's a big reason why they extended Oliver, because I do think that there is a point, kind of in their minds, like we still don't think we've seen this guy's best as a pass catcher.
Right.
And what's better than one good tight end that can catch, two good tight ends that can catch for your young quarterback, especially when the tight end are kind of like those shorter route type of guys. So maybe they're expecting there to be more two tight end sets, so that McCarthy has multiple options kind of on those shorter routes. But yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that one. I still think Hawk is a premier tight end in this league when he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, unless you just love a tight end that blocks really well, because Josh Oliver came in, he played solid when TJ Hawkinson was down, but he didn't set the world on fire in any shape or form in the passing game. I would say he underperformed my expectations as being the number one tight end, a guy that has potential to be something in the passing game, but you have him to be a run blocking guy, which I'm like, I don't know. Tight end position, I'm always thinking more pass catching than being a run blocking type of guy. But at the same time, it feels like a very luxury thing to have. And it is going to be something nice to do, especially when you are running and things like that.
Yeah. And as it comes to cap hits, 9.96 this year, 9.96 next year, 9.79 the year after. So it's a hefty contract. Like that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money for your number two tight end that you just haven't seen enough from in the pass catching game.
Yeah, he's just more of a blocking guy.
Yeah, but again, I mean, he has potential outs as well, to where you only take on six dead next year and only be 3 dead in 2028. So it's not the worst thing to get out of if it doesn't work out the way that they wanted it to, but remains to be seen. Yeah, that one, I think we were kind of on the same page with that signing, where it's a little bit of a head scratcher. Like, I get it. You want as many guys that can do good things for your team as possible, and he can block for the run game really, really well. And I do think that there's an untapped potential when it comes to the pass game, but
you're paying him more than your starting center.
Yeah, that one I probably would have been like, okay, we could probably chill on the extension there for now. Maybe give him another year and see what happens.
Yeah, that's what I probably would have said. But hey, I could be definitely wrong. And
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah. Well, from the passing game, but we might undervalue his, because it's hard to like really tell how good someone is in the run game protection when you're just watching a game, you know? So maybe, and it must be, I mean, for them to do that, it must be a bigger deal than we're thinking, for sure. But then you got these young guys. You got Giovanni Ricci, Gavin Bartholomew, and then who's the other one? For some reason, I'm having a hard time.
Bryson Nesbitt.
Yes, I know he was like a favorite undrafted free agent guy. But you go and draft. Bryson Nesbitt and Ben Urasek. I think Ben Urasek. He's the guy that a lot of people really like from an undrafted free agent, right?
Sounds right.
Anyways, you're talking about a guy that some people didn't think he was going to get drafted in Gavin Bartholomew. So there's a lot of people who are like a lot of these undrafted free agent guys and aren't convinced that Gavin Bartholomew is going to step up. But the thing with him, just like Josh Oliver, is he's known to be really good in protecting, or I think pass protecting, and I think just blocking in general. I know a lot of people can look at him as almost having an extra offensive lineman on that line. And if that is the case, and he is really good in that area, which is actually kind of surprising, because I was kind of thinking like maybe you don't give Josh Oliver the extension because you feel confident in what you have in Gavin, or maybe not, you haven't seen him yet, but you drafted him. So maybe you're looking at him to kind of take that role. But it'll be interesting to see. I do obviously as a 6th round, he was a 6th round pick, correct?
Yeah,
I believe so. Right. As a 6th round pick, anything can happen. And honestly, you're hoping that one of these guys that we got, including him, and these undrafted free agent guys, can come in and just make some sort of impact, or like just the Nick Muse type of situation, or Johnny Munt type of player going on this team. Because that's a position, like you said, you're talking about TJ Hawkinson, and, you know, you can cut him after this year. You'll lose some money or whatever, but this is going to be a huge year for Hawk, because if not, then you are probably, that becomes a really important position going into the next couple drafts.
Yeah, for sure. So, but I mean, again, I don't think we're going to get to that point. I mean, they signed Hawk here for a reason. I think when healthy, he's still a premier tight end in this league. And I think he's going to get back. I think he's going to get back to showing us that.
Hey, what up, Dane? Welcome in.
I think he's going to get back to showing us that sooner rather than later. So,
yeah, dude, I hope so.
I guess anything else on tight ends? I mean, I think we kind of said all we can about.
I guess real quick, TJ Hawkinson. What's your prediction going into next season? How many touchdowns? How many receiving yards do you see out of TJ Hawkinson?
Let's look at the trends.
What's his best year? What's TJ Hawkins?
His best year is, his best year overall was with us in 2023. In 15 games, 960 yards, 5 touchdowns. 2022, same season with the trade, he had 914 yards total, 519 when he got here. So again, young quarterback coming in. I think you could see a big reception year for him for sure. His highest reception is also 2023, 95 catches. So look, Kevin O'Connell was here in 2023, obviously an offense that likes to use the tight end, as you can tell. I mean, 127 targets, 95 receptions in 15 games only. Like, that's kind of wild when you look at it that way. That's tough, man. What do you like?
I think he's going to have, I think he has, so touchdowns is a really interesting one when it comes to him, because he hasn't been a guy who, you know, just since he's been a Viking, he had that 5 touchdowns a couple of years ago. We didn't get a single touchdown out of him last year. Maybe we did in playoffs. Did we get one out of him in that playoff game? Why did I feel like we might have?
I don't know for sure.
I don't know.
I mean, but 5, 3, 3, 6, 4, 6, 2 are his touchdowns.
I'm going to say he breaks his all-time catch for himself. I think he breaks 100 catches this season, but I still think even with 100 catches, I feel like he falls below 900 yards I think Jordan Addison beats him out when it comes to yards. I think this is hope because I love Jordan Addison. Is if Jordan Addison breaks his 1,000 yards this season. But I'm going to say 100 plus catches, just like Dane, out of TJ Hawkinson. I do not see 1,000 yard season out of TJ. I do think that you use TJ as a safety blanket big time, but I'm going to give him. So what's the most touchdowns he's had in the, and six is his most he's ever had. Yep. I'm going to give him, I'm going to have him break his touchdown thing as well. Okay. I think he's going to get more than 6 touchdowns.
I was going to go like 86 to 91 catches.
Bookman, no, sorry.
I'll go upside. I'm going to say 80. I'm going to say like 88 catches, 760 yards, 5 touchdowns is kind of my stat line.
Say it again. Sorry.
So I think like I'm going to go like 88-ish catches, somewhere between 88 and 92.
Oh, you're
760 yards and 5 touchdowns is my guess.
Okay.
And this one we don't need to bet money on this one. It's just this one is just kind of a fun little.
Yeah, we don't have to do that because it's too confusing. And then Dane, I don't know if you were in here. That's the other thing that I was talking about too. Is just that TJ Hawkinson and JJ McCarthy, they've built a strong connection to the point where at this point I wouldn't be surprised if JJ McCarthy, if the other player on this team that he's closest with is TJ Hawkinson. Based on the sound of it, based on how TJ Hawkinson talks about him,
100 catches is a lot. That's a lot of receptions. It'll be tough. I think
the only reason why I would maybe say maybe that wouldn't happen is only because we run the ball more.
Right. Well, and we still have Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, who you have to feed them at points. I mean,
I just feel like I think you're just gonna see the safety blanket thing a lot. Like maybe it's just short, maybe it's shorter plays. Maybe Kevin O'Connell breaks out the tight end screens again. But maybe not. Now, hopefully, and that's obviously, but also what did I have the over on JJ McCarthy yards?
Was it like
35?
35-ish sounds right.
35,
I think.
So you're giving between, I mean, that's definitely doable. Especially if JJ McCarthy ends up with like 4,000 yards or something like that, then you definitely feel like it's possible. Hey, what's going on, Gary? Let's go. Again, everybody, giving away the Dallas Turner Green Pulsar jersey card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe. If you're not already, of course. But yeah. So that should be, I think so. And then with Josh Oliver's extension, like I'm assuming you'll see him out there a decent amount as well. But I'm thinking good things with TJ Hawkinson just because they got that chemistry, potential chemistry, I guess. What are you looking up?
Most receptions by a tight end in a season
ever.
Yeah, just to kind of see
where
we put him at.
I'm sure that Kelsey's broken 150 easy.
There's been a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 tight ends that have had over 100 catches in a season.
And I think Tahak could definitely. I mean, he had 95.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing compared. How many of those people are in the NFL right now?
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Ertz had 116. Evan Ingram had 114. Brock Bowers with 112 his rookie year. It's crazy. Trey McBride, of course, 111. Kelsey's had 110.
That's his
Jason
most.
Witten, 110. Mark Andrew, 107. Darren Waller, back in the NFL, 107. Tony Gonzalez, 102.
If 4 of those guys you mentioned can do it, then there's not even a question. TJ Hawkinson could.
Yeah. Yep.
100 catches is less than 6 per game. Yeah, especially obviously you get the extra game now as well, though.
It is funny, like when you look at all these stats sound super impressive. Then like you break it down like that, and you're like, oh yeah, it is only like a 1,000-yard rusher. It's like, damn, that's not even like 100 yards.
I could do it, dude. That's not even that much. Damn.
I mean, so math bad. So yeah, if you want to be 1,000-yard rusher, you'd have to have 60 yards per game on the ground. Which when you break it down
so
like that,
funny when you had
1,000 yards, it's awesome. He's like,
but it's funny though. But when you had Adrian Peterson and even Delvin Cook, even though I know how you feel about him, but when Delvin Cook had his years, like 100 yards just felt so. Especially with Adrian Peterson, like 60 yards feels like nothing for spoiled run, how spoiled we have been.
Someone posted his every snap from 2012 when he won MVP and broke 2,000 yards.
Someone posted something about him. I went back and watched like a 20-minute highlight thing of Adrian Peterson.
That might have been the same one when it was like his entire 2012 season.
Yeah. Yep.
2012. It's
2012.
What am I talking about here?
2012. Yeah. I mean, that's what's so crazy. It kind of sucks that, man, AP with this line would be wild. Yeah, it would be. Oh, dude, I can't even imagine. But Adrian Peterson, man, just like, that's what sucks, because it's funny because Adrian Peterson is like the face of me not becoming, I was already a Viking fan, but like the face of me, like being a casual Viking fan when I was younger to the point now where I have a podcast about it, was Adrian Peterson was my favorite in the world. And it kind of sucks because I don't purposely try to like think of like what he's done off the field, but it's so weird when we talk about greats and stuff like that. Like, how often at this point do we forget about Adrian Peterson? And right. I think that has a lot to do with just his off-field stuff.
He's not a smart man, but man, the dude can play football. And
but it's so funny because he seems such like a nice, and maybe he's nice, but like obviously he got in a fight recently and things like that. But it's just like he's just seemed like that quiet dude that like
some worse people.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that he has that Kobe in him.
Jeez. But yeah, no, it's like it is amazing just the fact that we got to grow up watching that guy play football, and now it's just like you said, you almost do forget about him. You're like, oh yeah, that's right, literally
not. And he's one of the like arguably
top.
I think he's top 5. I think based off straight up talent, like if you took off all the offseason stuff,
which you can't.
If you took all of that, like people forget him. There's a list of like the top running backs of the past 20 years or something, and there's like 10 running backs on there, and Adrian Peterson's name wasn't on there.
Right. I mean, just with the Vikings, 11,700 yards, 97 touchdowns, 95 and a half yards per game. Just average. Like it's wild.
Yeah, dude, he's insane. That's what. Yeah, I don't know. Adrian Peterson, like, going back and watching that is absolutely crazy. Like, I can't believe, it's so surprising to me that dude just can't really fight. Like, he's a monster. Like, maybe he's just too jacked, and he's like too, like, he doesn't really come off as like someone who's going to be like super flexible or I guess like he's super agile in the run game, but he's not like the dude that's, super shifty, but he has like some of the nastiest cuts you'll ever see. But I don't know what it is. He like when he fought Le'Veon Bell, it was bad. When he fought this guy, like this is some average Joe. Like who knows what that dude's background was? But I'm like, you're Adrian Peterson? You should whip that guy's ass. What the hell?
Yeah. Wild.
But no, it's interesting. So I don't know. I still like Adrian Peterson and stuff. I bet you he's cool as hell if you did meet him. But I'm like,
I saw him once. I saw him.
You did.
5 feet away from him.
And he seems like he'd be like an approachable guy.
He is. People are taking pictures with him all night long. He's fine with it.
Right. But I don't even know what happened during that poker game. Something.
Yeah, he's 40. I didn't realize that. Holy shit.
Yeah. And he's not retired yet? No. I was still like, even to that point, like with all those off season there's not even a question that you feel like he would have been retired as a Viking already. And I still hope he does. I don't agree with some of that stuff, but
they still bring him into the state for things. I mean, that when
he was at
a Timberwolves game, like he still comes around for events, and they still show
DUI. That was the Timberwolves. No, the DUI was after the draft party, right?
Yeah, so he was there talking on. So he's great.
Very nice guy. Dumb as hell. I know, it's so weird. I mean, it might just be it. Sorry, Adrian Peterson.
It's kind of it.
Yeah. AK, man, yeah, I love Barry Sanders. I honestly, and I'm telling you right now, I've said it before. I'm not going to say he's the next Barry Sanders by any means, but RJ Harvey for Denver now. Just watch out. Watch out.
Wild?
That dude is shifty.
You know what's wild? Delvin Cook. Guess how old Delvin Cook is?
I know he's going to be younger than you think. 29.
He is 29. Yeah,
29. I knew it. I know. It seems like he should be.
He's done. Like he's out. He's out of the league.
Been out quick.
Yeah.
Been
The
out
injuries,
quick.
man.
What's going on, Darren?
And look, I had nothing against Delvin Cook, the player, when healthy, but it's just the injuries. There's just too many of them. It's just really frustrating to watch sometimes.
I know. Hopefully,
I mean, but again, you knew that coming out of college. Like, he had the shoulder injuries in college, and like he was that's why he fell to the second round. But
and we had some. I mean, we had some good years out of him.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I was looking at his stats. Like, in his prime, the dude is amazing. But it's just,
no,
the end of his career bothered me, and I'm happy he's gone.
I know. I'm excited to see. Obviously, we saw Aaron Jones. We always know what Aaron Jones was when he played for the worst team in any sport, the Green Bay Packers. But obviously, we knew what we were getting from him. And then him coming here, it was really obvious right away, like, how talented he is. So you got to be excited about Aaron Jones again. Obviously, getting older, but man, Jordan Mason. Obviously, it's kind of. I'm really excited to see him. You mentioned something. Was it you or someone else mentioned something about how he's came from the 49ers, and for whatever reason, like, every running back
we were talking about that last stream.
Yeah, that was
just how every running back, because even that Isaac Guerrero looked good there.
Yeah, like, exactly. So it's like Jordan Mason, like, I'm assuming he's going to be as good as we all hope for. And when you go watch his highlights and things like that, like, you can definitely see it. But it is weird that all these running backs just are so good for the 49ers, and hopefully there's nothing weird there. But he's someone that you can just be 25 years old, man. You're just hoping that he comes in here and we're just going to get, like, I don't know, some version of, like, different than Delvin Cook, but some version of a Viking running back that we will remember still.
Like, do you remember when, I think the year that we made it to the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum, Delvin Cook got hurt that year. That was his rookie year. Wasn't our running back duo like Jerick McKinnon and Latavius Murray or something like that? And even that worked out?
Yeah.
It's wild.
Yeah. Well, and then Jerick McKinnon got a solid deal with the 49ers.
And he's done nothing.
I think he did. He got hurt. He got hurt.
He tore his ACL, I think, his first year. Yeah.
Yep.
Then he ended he played well for the Chiefs, I thought. Didn't he have a year where
he was really good in the pass game?
Yeah. And was that one of the years they won a Super Bowl?
I believe he has a Super Bowl ring. I think so. Yeah, he had some good.
I know there was one year with the Chiefs where he played really, really well.
And I think it was specifically the passing game.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about running backs.
Kansas City. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, 2022, 512 catches, 9 receiving touchdowns, and 72 rushes, 291 yards, and 1 touchdown in the rushing game. So yeah, that was a year. Really, really good receiver.
Well, it's funny because I don't think we really used him that much in the passing game. We haven't really used any running back well, and even Aaron Jones, we have not used him as as good as I thought we were going to be able to last season.
But I didn't realize. Yeah, you're right. McKinnon that year was wild. Like, seriously, 500 receiving yards and 9 touchdowns. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, obviously they won the Super Bowl 2022.
Yeah, dude, I definitely think so.
Damn. Yeah, I didn't realize that. When he was with us, though, I mean, in 2017 he had 421 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He was 538 rushing yards in 2014, 271 2015, 539 2016, and 570 2017. That's when he was splitting with Latavius Murray.
Do we have a nickname for Showtime and Mason? I mean, Showtime. That's Aaron Jones.
Yeah, that's his.
Yeah. So he already has a nickname. Oh, you mean like a duo nickname? Mason needs his own. Mason needs his own. Yeah, what was it?
That's it.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Yeah, is that what? Did you just say that, or did someone else say that?
No, Sonic and Knuckles is already Jahmyr Gibbs and.
It is. Dang, I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? They talked about it all. They literally talked about it every Lions game.
I don't care about them damn Lions.
Hey, when you have Jahmyr Gibbs, we both had him on fantasy.
You're a Lions fan. You're a Lions fan.
Hey, Jahmyr Gibbs won me 2 championships. Okay, shut up.
He did win me a champ. He won me a championship last year.
You got to be a little bit of a fan of him for that reason only.
But I don't like Montgomery because he freaking Jahmyr Gibbs would be the best fantasy running back. Speaking of that, we'll have to maybe once we get closer to training camp, we'll probably do some fantasy shows.
Right. We should also, if we want to come up with a cool new nickname for running back duo, we should put a post out on the old YouTube or Twitter or whatever. Get submissions, and we'll vote on them before the season starts. That's what we should do. That'd be fun.
Who's the last one we did? Was it Will the Thrill or
yeah, what was that? I think because Will the Thrill was already a
no?
thing. Right?
It was Babyface Assassin.
That's what it was.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah,
came
yeah,
up with that one. What else? There's another one. I felt like we had another nickname. We do need one for JJ McCarthy, but we got to feel that one out a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta give him some time before he can start coming up with.
Yeah, he'll definitely get something for sure.
Yeah, we should do that. That'd be fun. Involve the GG Sports podcast fan group a little bit. Put out a little poll.
We'll have to get ChatGPT.
Get submissions.
ChatGPT will give you all kinds of names. Casey better. He's gonna pick them. If Casey doesn't pick him in the first round of his draft, Thunder and Lightning.
What was it?
That's been so used,
Yeah.
I feel like I feel that's a hard part is I want to see them on the field. Like I want to make sure that tandem's worth a nickname before we're just handing out nicknames. You know what I'm saying? Like I need to like everything I know about Jordan Mason and have watched, I really like, but I want to see it on the field. You can't just be calling him Thunder when he hasn't even touched a ball for us yet.
Sure you can. Confidence. Confidence in your
play. True. I'm banned from other Vikings podcasts because I called them the Vikings Vickety. That's crazy. All right, Steve, you're out of here.
Gary, hit the button. I'm kidding. We're kidding.
But no, I'm gonna wait. I think you gotta earn nicknames. I think he's going to. We can keep it in mind on what nicknames he could potentially get. But let's keep on rolling here, everybody. We're about to do the giveaway. The Dallas Turner green pulsar, purple jersey card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments. Like the video, of course, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't already. Got to bring this up real quick, of course, and that is Skol Fest. Everybody in here, I already know y'all know, but we got to bring it up on every single show now. We're getting closer. Just a month and a half away? No, about 2 months away.
Well, Nick earlier said 9 more Sundays till our opening, or 9 more Mondays until our opening game. So if you want to do the math on that, go right ahead.
So a week after that. So
5 days after
10 Sundays. That would be 10 more Sundays, right?
Saturday, though. Skol Fest is Saturday.
Oh, yeah. Skol. So 10 more Saturdays. I don't know, some shit like that. You guys,
we'll keep you
updated. Okay? We'll keep you updated. September 13th, between 6 and 10 p.m. at the Crooked Pint in Minneapolis, near U.S. Bank Stadium on Washington Avenue. If y'all been there before, beer, live DJ, prize giveaways, and of course, we do a short live show. This is an event we are continuously trying to get better and better. We're still trying to figure out exactly how it wants to go, but so far we've done good in the first 2 years. I think we're going to have the best Skol Fest yet this year. And of course, I want everybody to be a part of it. Obviously, we got some of our guys in the chat that are specifically like Skol Mafia running the Skol Fest channel. Our guy Barber was there last year. Yeah, this one's going to be better. And it's just going to get better and better. And I want our people in here, as well as everyone that goes watch rap and SK and all those guys, just to be there early, because I don't know. We want like the OG to be there early. You going, Bob's Weed? Question: has anyone heard or seen Sarah?
No, not really.
Not on here, but I've seen her talking on a group chat on Twitter. But I haven't seen her on here in a little while.
It's summer. I get it. People are out, especially in Minnesota. People are out enjoying the summer. Like, I get it.
Once we get to training camp, things are gonna pop off again. But yeah, again, anybody who plans on going RSVP, you can take a screenshot on your phone if you're watching it, or grab your camera and point it at your computer right now to get the RSVP code there. But definitely gotta go. Right now, I'm being kind of nice and everything, but once we get closer, I'm pretty much going to beg y'all to get there. What's going on, Angels Dust Senior? Cheers, Scolders. What's going on, dude? Cheers, man. Cheers, Skol, brother. But yeah, you gotta go. We gotta go. Casey's gonna show up with the Will the Thrill jersey.
Wish I had one.
Get one. I know we do have to go out and get some jerseys here.
We do. We
keep forgetting about that. We'll do that.
I mean, I think we were a little bit worried how tariffs would affect.
Oh yeah, true. Facts. It'd be interesting to see how that works out.
How that is.
But no, Skol Fest is going to be crazy this year, and it's going to be even crazier the next year. I can't wait to see how it all goes. But all I know, we're gonna try to make it as big as possible. At least try our best. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but anyway,
no, it's too far. You guys, it's not too far. Too far. It's not too far. That's crazy.
It might only be half the country away.
Yeah, I'm gonna be coming from Colorado. Where Bob? Where are you from? I think you're. I don't know if you want me to say the state. You're from. I think.
Oh no! You better not say the state. Someone's gonna track him down.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think
it's Ohio.
Him and George talk about the beginning of every show with their weather, and I think they've said where they're at before. But I
know, yeah. I think Bob's Ohio. I think somewhere around those parts. I felt like
Idaho. Okay.
Idaho. Oh, okay. So are you near the whole like fires shooting thing? What's that?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I forgot what that area is called. Bob's spot. That's not even that far. That's not that far. You can get there. Princeton, Minnesota here. That's like right next door, Dane. You could easily get there.
I don't think he was saying he's not coming.
No, I know, but I'm just telling you, y'all, it doesn't even matter. You guys don't got a choice. I never gave you guys a choice. You're just coming. That's what's happening. Eventually, maybe not this year, but one time, every single person in this chat right now, we're going to get to at least one Skol Fest. At least one.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Hey, let's go. That's what I'm talking about. No, it's going to be, I can't wait to see what happens. But anyways, enough Skol Fest. Obviously, I'm going to bring this thing up every single week, so you'll be hearing about that as we continue moving forward. Let's do the giveaway. Again, everybody, the Dallas Turner Green Pulsar patch rookie card. Get the hashtag Skols in the comments, like the video, and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go. Yeah, Barbara's coming from Virginia. I come from Colorado.
I come from Woodbury. Stay right here in the state.
Yeah, you're right next to it. Skol Mafia comes from New York. So we talking about. We'll get Swede there eventually.
Gary and Adam come all the way from Elk River.
From Elk River, yep. And Adam's technically not even. I don't believe it. I think he is at this point.
Positive Vikings fan now.
There's zero chance that he doesn't. There's zero chance that he leaves Skol Fest as a 49ers fan.
But I hate Minneapolis. A lot of people do. You just go anyway. You drink enough, you don't even know you're there.
Yeah.
That's how I do it, at least.
Minneapolis has had It's had better days, but
stay in the right spot. You'll be fine.
Yeah, stay in the right spot. We've had only good experiences, so I'm sure you will.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
I mean, there he is. Yeah, he is at this point. Oh yeah, Adam's gonna be the biggest Viking fans out of all of us.
And now watch the Niners will win a Super Bowl next year. We're like, no.
It wouldn't be the first time.
Get to go back.
Wouldn't be the first time I've convinced someone to become a Viking fan just for their team to like win a Super Bowl or something. But fuck Adams, the 49ers. We so convert. Yeah, facts. Gary with the Adam. Yeah, he have to be. I mean, Adam puts too much work in the Vikings at this point. Where you just gotta do it. You just gotta do it. Anyways, everybody, let's get this giveaway up. Everybody get their hashtag Skols in the comments. Let's do this stuff. I have to get my kid to bed here pretty soon. Tonight. Boom. Let me bring it up. Hey, shut it, Nick. Yeah, he does. Nick's from Florida. Nick, you're not even from Minnesota. Somehow, someone tricked Nick into becoming a Vikings fan.
Nick, are you making the trek up, like literally to the other part of the country from where you're at?
I think he said he. I don't know if he is this year. We're getting him eventually.
Like very south part of Florida to south central Minnesota.
Okay, but I live in Florida now. Okay. Just hate to see it. Stay in the greater Minnesota. It's better up here. Oh yeah, what part are you again? Dan, I forget. Oh, gotcha. All right, I'm gonna start running this.
We're rolling. Nope.
Oh. Get them hashtag Skols in the comments. First one off the board is Dan Henneman, aka I hate Minneapolis, but I love the Vikings. Dan, yeah, you're in here. Vining near. Okay, that's right. Keeping on rolling here. We got Dan. We got next. It is Nick Riley. Keep on rolling. Nick, I'm assuming you're still here. You just roll, right? Yeah. Who we got next? And it is Barber. Let's go. It's been a while for you, Barber. All right, let's keep going. Of course, Nick's in here. We got 3 names, 2 more left. Darren. Let's go, Darren. I know Darren's been trying. He's been trying to get into another one of these. All right, last one. We got the final one. And it is Adam. Let's go. I mean, Adam's got to be in here still. Dang, that's sick. I think we got everyone. Adam. There he is. All right, we're good. Got the names here. Dan H, Nick R, Barber, Darren, Adam. I probably didn't have to put last name abbreviations or whatever, but whatever. All right, 45 seconds on the clock. 9 for JJ McCarthy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, what do you? I mean, probably shouldn't bring up like politics and stuff in here, but I do want to bring up how much bullshit this whole Epstein Island shit is. Like, what's going on there?
There is no client list, and he killed himself. Like, okay,
dude, what the hell? That's the kind of stuff that throws me off. I'm like, come on. I don't care if you're the biggest conspiracy person hater in the world. Like, you got to be like, what the fuck's going on with that shit?
Yeah, there's a client list. There's a client list.
There's no way. They literally have said there's a client list a million times, and now there's not. All right, and we are off. Darren with the early lead. Barber's kind of maybe a little bit ahead here. The dinosaur duck. Darren in second. Nick's chilling in the back. Then Dan, Adam.
Whoever's in last place at 20 seconds wins is my call.
They're definitely lying about kill to keep. Yeah, I don't know. There's some. I don't know.
Nick's gonna get.
There's something I think everybody can agree on in this country that there's something fucked up about that.
Nick's getting the bounce. Nick's gonna win. Oh, it is Darren.
Oh, I don't know. We're gonna get that Barber bounce.
Is it?
It is Darren.
Oh, is it Barber?
It is Darren with the jersey. Dallas Turner green post. Nick called it, and it is Darren with the W. Let's go, Darren W. Get in the W. Let's go. Let's go.
Hell
Darren,
yeah.
obviously I already got all your information, so you did get that card. Let's go. Unless Darren, I know you've been trying to get. Were you trying to get I'll give you a JJ McCarthy card if you'd rather have that, because I felt like you said something about wanting a JJ McCarthy, so that's fine if you want it. Otherwise,
Will Reichard, maybe? I'm kidding. I think we got rid of the one Will Reichard.
We have Will, and I do still have Will Reichard.
Oh, there we go. We could do that too.
So Darren, if you want a JJ McCarthy or Will Reichard instead, but it's a pretty solid Dallas Turner card, especially if he turns out to be the guy that we all want him to be. Then it could be really nice. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. Okay. Yep, sweet. I got you. I'll get you a JJ McCarthy.
Hell yeah. Well, anything else from you?
That's it.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys again for taking time out of your Monday night to hang out with us here. Again, off next week. We will be back the week after that. Then we'll have to talk about schedule going forward as we're getting closer.
I move at the end of the night or end of the month is when I move to Colorado and stuff and have to get settled in. So it's going to be a little bit goofy this year, but then I'm going to be like in the same spot for a while. So
yeah, so we should be all good. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hopping in. See you guys in a couple weeks.
Skol Vikes.